becoming older, very old job. I'm glad this evening to be part of this very respected platform where knowledge and experience is being shared in order to consolidate our capacity in various fields. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to be part of this platform. I'm here this evening humbly presenting my experience on non-intrusive inspection technology with a topic coined Introduction to Non-Intrusive Inspection Technology. The outline for my presentation is displayed as follows. The evolution of customs role, the application of nuclear technology, non-intrusive inspection technology, types of non-intrusive inspection technology deployed, NIIT operational roles, which sometimes they ask. I think there's one question that is asking about the non-intrusive inspection technology operational roles. The scanner manager, image operator, system and check-in operator, up to challenges to utilization of non-intrusive inspection technology. Then I conclude. My respected colleagues, you are all aware that the role of customs worldwide is globally metamorphosing periodically. Customs has the responsibility and unique authority for monitoring and controlling cross-border flows of goods, people, and conveyances, and as such plays a tremendous critical role in protecting society from the risks associated with this and such trafficking. The customs globally has been changing, the schedules has been changing, the statutory functions has been metamorphosing due to the growing in trade, growing in threat and challenges due to terrorism and other vulnerabilities that are subjected to human existence. So the role of customs as it keeps begin to come up with so many inventions, technological innovations, so that they can fix the anomaly. You can agree with me, memory lane, the 9/11, which is the bombing of World Trade Center, has wakened the world from slumber. A lot of security architecture overhauling, airports are being overhauled security-wise, all places people gathered, and any other very important and sensitive facility, government facility, private facility are being enhanced with security. That incident significantly overhauled the whole security architecture perspective globally. So that is why as customs, which are mandated of collecting revenue, the roles keep changing. The roles keep filing due to the change in trade, trade, and other so many aspects of social well-being. That is why it's important we continue to update ourselves, continue to keep changing the modus operandi to accommodate the changes that are contemporary, obtainable globally. There in this, you can see from revenue collection of import taxes and duties and excise to protection of economic interests, domestic industry, protection of society, health, safety, cutting drug trafficking, firearms and environment, etc., to economic development, to trade facilitation, now to security and terrorism supply chain protection. That is all concerning the evolution of customs role. Now, the application of nuclear technology. Nuclear technology is the technology that we cannot do without it. It is all over in our life. It is all over in our safety in terms of health. That is why the application of nuclear technology is enumerated as follows, ranging from the non-intrusive inspection technology, which is NII, for economy and security, which is the subject of discussion this evening. Nuclear technology is also being applicable to medicine, where cancer treatment and other, treatment of disease is being carried out using this nuclear technology. So the technology is not only for customs utilization, it's also in agriculture, it is in environmental protection. Some are using it for terrorism, crime, and public safety. Modern industry are deploying it, modern economy, transportation, art and science, among others. There are a lot of research of why nuclear technology and its application. One of it is that it is estimated that 500 million containers, accounting for more than 90% of the world's cargo, are being shipped around the globe every year virtually uninspected, allowing consignment of narcotics, weapons, and other illegal materials to enter countries undetected. In other words, unnoticed. This is as a result of lack of this non-intrusive inspection technology being mounted at the seaport, airport, and other approved points. That is why the technology is very important in carrying out trade facilitation, enhancing trade facilitation, and security in general. Now, non-intrusive inspection technology, which is NIIT. Why is it called non-intrusive inspection, not scanning, which we used to call it before? Because a lot of technical experts has been converging in maybe WCO and other technical meetings around the world, thereby identifying that there is a lot of ambiguity in terms of differentiating the scanning or scanner with the technology of X-ray. That is why the nomenclature of scanning changed to non-intrusive inspection technology, and it is universally accepted and being championed by the World Customs Organization. So, in summary, non-intrusive inspection technology is the new nomenclature introduced by the World Customs Organization to differentiate between cargo scanner and document scanner. You will agree with me, my respected colleagues, that if they are saying a scanning, somebody may think is the normal scanner that we use in our offices for scanning documents. But professionally, calling it non-intrusive inspection signifies that it is distinguishing nomenclature to indicate that it is the different from other conventional scanners that we use in our offices. Non-intrusive, technically, the meaning is non-destructive. Non-destructive in the sense that you X-ray the cargo, you X-ray the consignment, you X-ray the content of a container or a parcel, whether palletized, non-palletized, whether passenger baggage, humans, animals, and other matters that are moving in and out of the country. Non-intrusive technically means non-destructive. A situation whereby you X-ray the content without disturbing or distracting or distorting what is obtainable in the consignment. What is non-intrusive inspection? Non-intrusive inspection is the use of X-ray or gamma ray to expose the whole content of a container on a computer screen for the purposes of analysis and decision making. I humbly come up with this definition, and it's universally accepted based on the little experience gathered so far, and this definition is accepted globally. Non-intrusive inspection technology is the use of X-ray or gamma ray to expose the whole content of a container on a computer screen for the purposes of analysis and decision making. The use of non-intrusive inspection technology, or otherwise called scanning for cargo handling, is a prominent component of the customs supply chain, and it is essentially deployed to enhance trade facilitation, revenue generation, and national security. Now, we move to types of non-intrusive inspection technology deployed. The technology are enormous, but conventionally and contemporarily, the most commonly used NIIT equipment utilize X-ray and gamma ray for cargo imaging, and they could be in this form. It could be in the form of mobile scanner, which is obtainable in Afafa, Tinkan, One, Jibia, which is Katsina, Banki, which is Maiduguri, even though the Maiduguri scanner has been burnt during the incident of Boko Haram. We have portal scanner, scanners are also in the shape of portal scanner, gantry scanner, and baggage scanner. Pictorially there, the image here is showing a NIIT mobile scanner, which has been customized with a logo of NCS, as you can see here. And the chassis of this mobile scanner is Volvo, because there are different manufacturers that are manufacturing the scanners, ranging from American Science and Technology to Smith Detection Technologies to backscatter technology, Ludo, NUTEC, a lot of companies. So this is called mobile scanner because it has the ability and the capability to be mobile. It can be folded and it can be drive like a normal conventional truck. Even though the technical specification and the speed limit and the kind of driving, it has some, you have to have some skills for driving it because it's very heavy and it has so many components embedded in it. Below here is the baggage scanner, where this is highly popular to us because of the utilization by the airport. You can see here, your bag will be subjected here, which it will be X-rayed to see the content of your baggage as a traveler, whether you are traveling to Lagos, whether you are traveling to abroad. You can see that there are so many of this technology in different formats, in different shape and different spec. This here, where you put your bag, we call it conveyor belt. This conveyor belt has the ability to roll your consignment, to roll your bag, thereby controlling it with this keyboard, where it will X-ray the content of your bag, whether you are putting jewelries, books, and all items that can be baggage. We have this technology in different make. Now, the non-intrusive inspection technology operational roles. The roles are 6. In some forms, they can be 7, but technically, based on the exams question, these are 6. Whenever you are being asked in an examination, the roles of the operational roles of non-intrusive inspection, the 6 will be the answer, because these are more of the other roles are a little bit silent. The roles comprise scanner manager, image operator, or sometimes called image analyst, system or check-in operator, recheck duties, traffic marshal, radiation maintenance duty. Here, this picture displays time where officers are undergoing maintenance training. This guy is from China, deployed by customs, new tech company as a result of the new equipment acquired by Nigerian Customs Service. Nigerian Customs Service utilizes Smith detections equipment, but there are emergency intervention of 3 scanners that has been procured and installed in the Apapa, Tinkan, and One, currently functional and operational. The other picture is a pictorial display of the image cabin, where there are CCTV indicating the movement of container and what have you. Then the other 2 screens are for analyzing the image. Now, major part and subsystems of scanner. Scanner have major components that are obtainable globally, which comprise of system operators cabin, where I showed you in the previous slide, the X-ray detection systems, the X-ray emission systems, electric generator, technical room, image operators cabin, diesel generator as backup. Usually, this diesel generator is to making sure that if the scanning activity is taking place, there is no break out of the NEPA, otherwise called CT power or power CT in some countries. Air condition, boom. This boom is the taker of accelerator, where it can be folded, even though I don't want to go a bit technical, because this is not the platform to do so. You have image cabin, technical room, and other driver's cabin and driver's cabin. Then the shielding gate. This shielding gate is obtainable with the PIC scanner. Usually the shielding gate in terms of mobile is not obtainable, because the doors are made with lead to protect the officers from exposure to radiation. The conveyor belt, I talked about it, is also obtainable in the smaller unit of scanners and the larger ones, including PIC scanner and tunnel, where the consignment or the container capability, depending on the height and depending on the make, is being subjected to scanning or beaming X-rays. Then operational roles and responsibilities. The scanner manager have this for the following roles. the scanner manager has the duty to manage all NCS staff deployed to the scanner site. He administers NCS procedures and policies as contained in the standard operating procedure. Liaise with the scanner service provider to ensure optimal use of the system. Ensure the safety of people operating in and around the scanner, among other functions. Of course, as a scanner manager, have almost the supervisory role to oversee all the operational stability of the scanner site. As a scanner manager is expected to have the knowledge of image analysis and a little bit knowledge of maintenance and all knowledge to be able to manage the resources and facility under control. Now, technical manager, which otherwise known as a radiation supervisor or technical, observer. The duties of the technical manager include ensuring the continuous availability of the scanner system by monitoring the scanner. He coordinates maintenance activity, upgrade during major interventions, and responsible for on-site spare part and inventory. Ensure that radiation safety policy is strictly adhered to. Carry out regular radiation readings on the site. Ensure site cleanliness. Ensure the safety of people operating in and around the scanning facility. This technical manager is like the radiation safety, even though the functionality of the roles sometimes converge and sometimes diverge depending on the need that arises in the scanning site. Image operator or image analyst. All is correct, whether you call it image operator or image analyst, but professionally, image analyst is more, in terms of technical submission in the nuclear industry, because he analyzes the image, he analyzes the document, he analyzes the image, look at the image, the SGD, and what have you, to making sure that the shape is what is in conformity with the declaration. Confirms whether the image is clear enough for analysis. Analyze images and correlate with documentation. Make decision whether the consignment conforms to the declaration or not. Print suspicious image and confirm compliant images. Declare whether or not to carry out further controls. That is to subject the consignment to physical examination. Whenever image analyst is not convinced with the formation of the image, the composition of the image, especially if we discover discrepancies based on the document that has been declared, the action he will take is to subject this to physical examination, otherwise called secondary inspection. Operational roles and responsibilities continuation. Now, check-in operator. Check-in operator is verifying documentation, ensuring that the SGD paperwork is correctly processed, ensure that the documents conform to what is on the system, which is our analysis platform. Process the report of the scan container, ensure quality data is entered into the database. Even though this check-in operator, based on integration, we are trying to see that this is abolished because of integration. Now there is effort being made to making sure that this scanner is not standalone, is integrated with the NIIT-CSC platform, so that seamlessly documentation and checking in checking documentation will be done electronically. The effort is being done currently, and I think very soon it will be abolished because it will be paperless due to the integration. Recheck duties. The duties and functionality of recheck duty is, as a recheck duty officer, is documentary check. He also identifies the container to be rechecked, check if the seal is still intact, invite relevant agencies, report the findings to the scanner manager or assistant scanner manager where that is applicable. Traffic marshal. Traffic marshal is controlling the traffic, the positioning of container. He checks arriving vehicles and containers. He ensures they are correctly identified. He ensures the safety of drivers in the scanning site, instruct the driver when and where to go after scanning. This traffic marshal role is very important because sometimes because of the X-ray being beamed by the machine, it's going to be very dangerous for driver to be beamed with X-ray. It will be calamitous, and the repercussion will be devastating. Because, for example, there was a time we are carrying out site acceptance tests in One. The driver is in the vehicle. We announce that everyone should vacate. The X-ray will be emitted. Even the siren is being activated. But to our surprise, driver, I don't know what is wrong with him. He refused to come out, and I was only able to observe him through the CCTV. So that role is also very important. Objective of non-intrusive inspection. The benefit of non-intrusive inspection is enormous, but here I enumerated about 10. One of it is effective detection of contraband and concealment. It quickens cargo clearing process, and it is more efficient than physical inspection. It strengthens custom functions of protecting the society from harmful and hazardous materials such as weapons and radioactive substances like WMD and what have you. Contribute towards increased revenue collection, efficient utilization of available resources in form of personnel, reduces port congestion and vessel turnaround time, eliminate the theft of goods being inspected, because you don't have to open the container. In 2 minutes, you can X-ray the content and be able to discover what is in the container or parcel. It reduces cost of clearance for compliant traders. Raw materials are not contaminated due to exposure to extreme weather. And of course, it is transparency at the zenith, because everything will be detected. Concealment will also be detected, because the composition of image, you can see based on the density of the image, you can be able to, depending on your expertise, suspect the image, mark the portion of where you are suspecting, drive and draw the portion where will be subjected for physical examination, otherwise known as secondary inspection. Challenges to the effective utilization of non-intrusive inspection technology. One of the challenges is the stand-alone equipment. This equipment are stand-alone now, but are being integrated so that they synergize with our platform for better operational output. Maintenance of the equipment. The equipment are very expensive, thereby the spare parts are a little bit, difficult to get. That is why one of the challenges I reported here is the availability of spare parts. Their maintenance is an issue. Availability of the spare part is an issue. And now our officers, including my humble self, are only trained for level 1 and level 2 maintenance. Usually level 1 and level 2 maintenance are not up to level 3. Level 3 maintenance is very technical that none of the NCS officers can claim to be attaining the level 3 maintenance. Lack of adequate equipment, the scanners are not adequate. You are all aware of that. Is a challenge, because the more the scanners, the more zero physical examination like is obtainable in countries like China and other developed countries. Lack of sufficient and technical know-how and security culture. Conclusion. I would like to report here because sometimes someone asks that they are asking this question that the World Customs Organization has 2 personnel. So that is why I put it there for the purpose of examination in case it may come up. The World Customs Organization currently has a technical expert group on non-intrusive inspection, codenamed TEG NII, and 2 personnel of the Nigerian Customs Service are members. The World Customs Organization places high premium on the role of non-intrusive inspection in ensuring the safety and security of society, facilitation of legitimate trade, and generation of revenue. The utilization of non-intrusive inspection in customs, import and export clearance chain is an inevitable component to achieving smart borders for seamless trade, travel, and transport. Here, this picture was taken in Brussels sometimes like 3 years ago, where my humble self and the retired controller Paul Ekpeyong were present in the TEG meeting. Here is the Professor Lee, a professor of this thing from NUTEC company, with my controller, who is now the controller of KLT, which just left from headquarters, who head scanning unit. I would like to end here. My respected colleagues, I will welcome any observation, questions, and concern. I want to use this medium to wish us well tremendous success in the forthcoming exam. Inshallah, all of us will be recorded as the successful candidate which have passed this exam. Inshallah, I wish us well and success in all our future endeavors. And thank you very much for the opportunity. Wishing us best of luck in all our endeavors while I'm waiting for any questions. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent of Customs, Nafiu Salihu, PhD. I want to take a moment to express our gratitude for this outstanding presentation. Your extensive knowledge and expertise in non-intrusive inspection were truly impressive, and it has shown in your ability to deliver this lecture well. So I think we have found insights and experiences in this complex area, and your participation in various international courses workshops already shine through this presentation. So we are grateful. And now I think the audience will be ready to either push down their question or raise their hands. The admin will unmute them to ask their questions. We thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So I think I have seen one question on the platform from Goni. Yes. Okay. Okay. Goni is saying a traffic marshal, also a customs officer or any other person can be assigned by the terminal operator.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is an interesting question. The traffic marshal, his duties is the most junior duty, even though you cannot undermine the contribution he make as a result of controlling the traffic. He controlled the traffic. He controlled the containers movement, the exit of the container, communicating with the driver via walkie-talkie. So the traffic marshal is an officer, but usually under the rank of one star, below the rank of 1 star, because it's the most junior in terms of the hierarchy, even though each roles are important and they are mutually exclusive. But you cannot undermine the duties of the traffic marshal, because lack of him in the site can hamper the facilitation of containers as they are being scanned. So in summary, to answer your question, my colleague Gwani, traffic marshal can be assigned by the shippers, otherwise at the terminal operators. But conventionally and professionally, we have them well trained. So currently, what is obtainable, all the traffic marshal, based on my knowledge, they are custom officers. But there are parallel, also technical, that are obtainable in terms of the service providers. Usually, all these duties, all these operational roles which I enumerated in this presentation are also obtainable with the service providers. If I go memory lane, even the existed service providers, which are Cotecna, SDS, and Global Scan, have all this expertise in terms of their personnel. And this is as a result of the fear of scanner downtime, shortage of personnel. Like, for example, right now in Apapa or Tinkan or One, the people that brought the scanner, one company called Airwave Limited, has all these personnel, their personnel trained to future and function in these various activities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question. Okay, are you getting me right? Okay. The next question is saying, who are the members of the technical expert group on non-intrusive inspection?
This is a very good question. So technically, the members of non-intrusive inspection technology are two. Myself, my humble self, Nafiu Salihu Abubakar, and the former retired controller ekfayan fall. But normally the question, if it's to be technically adhered to, for the purpose of exams is 2, and it's myself and the retired controller ekfayan fall to answer your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Then the next question is saying, okay, I think we have answered that one. Somebody is asking of the meaning of the TEG.
SD, there's one I answer. I paused before the traffic marshal.
The boom?
Yes, please. We need more explanation on that boom.
Okay. We need to know what the boom means and what it stands for.
Okay, the boom. The boom is a component, a significant component of the scanner, where scanner can never function without it. The boom has functionality of folding and unfolding. It has functionality of manual folding and electronical folding. You can form and unveil the boom manually, and you can unveil the boom electronically using remote control. The boom component has the capability of having what we call accelerator. This accelerator, it has detection capability. That is the platform or a medium where the X-ray is being beamed. That is an avenue where the X-ray, light, the electrons are being scattered with the view of X-raying the content of a container. The boom usually have horizontal and vertical capability. Horizontal in the sense that it can beam the rays so that you can have a pictorial clarity of image, whether it's an angle of elevation or it's an angle of diffraction, or side by side of the container, from the top of the container, the adjacent of the container. So the boom has the capability of the accelerator. It's the way housing the accelerator. I don't want to go a bit technical. We can have one hour lecture on this, but I think for the purpose of this platform, I don't want to digress more than this. I don't know whether
we have understood the basic points, so no problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think then the next question on the platform is saying, what is the average time an officer is to spend on the non-intrusive inspection? I think he's asking how much time can an officer spend on machine.
Okay, it depends. This question is a little bit ambiguous because it can be multifaceted. Is it in terms of the time inside the image cabin? Is it the time the scanner takes to scan a container? Is it the time, the longevity? I
think if we can have time, which officer, the limited amount of time you can go ahead and mention it, all those places.
Well done, sir. Let me just put it again. Good evening, Nafiu. I just want to ask, because of the gamma ray, for the protection of officers, that's the purpose of asking the question.
Okay, so your question is in terms of safety. So safety. There are 3 cardinal principles of safety, which is time, shielding, and distance. These are three cardinal principles of safety, which otherwise known as radiation protection. I assure you, we can have 1 week lecture on this. But sorry, the lesser I can give this principle because it's the most important. If you understand the principle, you can then it's left for you to be wiser in terms of execution. The time spent, the longer the time you spend, the higher the radiation you absorb. For example, let me give you an example. If you fly from Nigeria, whether it's Lagos or Abuja, to United States, for example, or Beijing, which is China. If you travel to China, you will have at least 14 hours airborne, at least from Addis Ababa to Nigeria, approximately 5 hours. From Addis Ababa to Beijing is going to be like 9 hours or 10 hours, depending on the, pilot. But usually 14 hours. So you can never compare the radiation absorption of someone that fly airborne 14 hours with someone that fly to Lagos. Meaning that the longer time you stay, because radiation we will live with it, we will die with it, is here to stay. You cannot see it, you cannot feel it, you cannot hear it, but the beauty is that you can quantify it. You can quantify radiation using devices. So the longer time you stay in the scanner, the higher the exposure and the higher the dose that are being absorbed. That is why in terms of safety, we deploy what we call thermoluminescent dosimeters, otherwise known as TLD badges. This thermoluminescent dosimeter has the ability and the capability to quantify the amount of radiation exposure, tissue equivalent. I assure you, I don't want to take longer than necessary. We can have like 1 week lecture, series of lectures on that. But for the purpose of this, I think I have answered your question. So the shorter the time you stay, the better. It's depending on you can stay in the scanner as long as you want because the safety features are there in place. We are making sure that we challenge the manufacturers, and we know that we use equipment to test run the scanner even before deployment. So the safety feature, you can stay as long as you want, but the longer you stay, the higher the absorption, and the lesser you stay, the lesser the absorption.
Doctor, but is there like a required limit now?
No required limit. No required limit. Because
okay.
And I want to the person use gamma.
Yes.
And for your information, we don't use gamma in Nigerian Customs Service. The technology we are using is X-rays.
Okay.
We are using the technology of X-rays. We don't have any gamma scanner for clarification.
Okay.
Thank you.
One more thing, please. We have lead, we have aluminium, we have copper.
Yes.
Which of these three is actually used in Nigeria for the protection of the X-ray against X-ray?
Yes. This is a very valid question, and the answer is that lead, which is LEAD, this is the highest. This is the zenith material deployed worldwide for protection of from exposure to radiation. This is because of the capability of lead. The lead has a very heavy tendencies. It has zero vulnerabilities of exposure. It's very heavy. It's a very heavy and very, very thick, usually in its form. Like, for example, a door that was shielded with lead I can assure you, you cannot, as an individual, lift it with your hand. You have to have, gather so many huge individuals that are well trained and very powerful. That is why even lead, those that are made with lead, are being carried out by machine because of their heavy nature. So lead is the material that shields officers or shield items or shield. That is why terrorists deploy this lead for concealment, because when you use lead to conceal an item, it cannot be detected, because the ability of the scanner to penetrate this lead is very minimal because of the composition, because of the metallic nature of the lead. So that is the answer to your question.
Okay, the next question is Kim Moshut is saying, is there any check and balance to confirm the result analyzed by an image analyst?
Is this in terms of the NCS perspective or globally?
Yes, NCS perspective.
Yes, there is, because there is what we call image auditing. Even though, honestly speaking, undoubtedly, I can tell you that we are not conducting image auditing. And this is because there's worldwide, globally, where there is what we call a centralized image analysis center. This centralized image analysis center is a center where remotely you will be seeing images, interpreting images simultaneously. Because we don't have centralized image analysis center, which is supposed to be located at the headquarters where activities and images, it's like a risk control center, RCC. This is where there is a pictorial and seamless coordination and foraging of discrepancies of images. Usually, this image auditing is a situation whereby, for example, you can give yourself 1 week to audit the images that has been released for 1 week. You can do it 1 month. You can do it yearly. But we don't, in Nigerian custom, we don't do that. And this is because of the lack of the platform, which is the centralized image analysis center. And I can also say the management, or contemporarily, we are just, wising up. There is a resistance to technology. You can agree with me that it's not all the personnel we have that are advocate of scanning because of the zero tendencies of corruption, where scanner can detect everything that is in the container. You cannot lie. You cannot misdeclare. You cannot, misclassify and get away with it with scanner, except if you have an image analyst that is not, technically and inclined in terms of the composition of, like, for example, you said you import 10 tires, whereas you have concealed about 12 tires, maybe inside tires. A good image analyst will be able to determine or will be able to ascertain that this is not 10 tires. Rather, you will know the exact tires because the composition of the image, the formation of the image, the density of the image will be discovered by the expertise of the image analyst. That is why, yeah.
Okay, Doctor, then in essence, we don't have any way to confirm the results. Is it what you are saying?
No, we have. This is what I call is image auditing, meaning that even when the good exited, it's like a PCA mechanism. But we do. That is why you subject, if there is once it has been released, that is why it's been subjected to physical examination if there is discrepancies.
Okay, but honestly, I think I had an incident recently in which we requested for images from the month of June alone, which those working in the scanning unit told us that they don't have those images.
That is very wrong. That is very wrong.
How long were they expected to keep those images for the purpose of clearance audit?
As long as our laws. But the shortcoming is that these images are having some kilobytes. So technically, we have more storage because that is why they are supposed to be backup, higher, larger memory for storing this image, because this image is let me give you an example. If you are using 1 terabyte phone, memory wise, you realize that you don't care to be deleting so many videos, so many images, so that delete so that your phone will not. Otherwise, if you are using lesser memory like 256 gigabyte or 556 gigabyte or 124 gigabyte, you see, the higher the memory, the higher the capacity of restoring and keeping this, storing this document. Images are documents. Images, the higher the images, the more. So, and sometimes the images are, for example, if you use normal CCTV for 1 month, you can see that after 1 month, they override. But in its scanner system operate just like your laptop. You can save image unless they are manipulate or there is shabby deal. Otherwise, you can recall image. Every image has unique number. Every image has unique identifier where if it is Papa, the coding will be AP. It will be, there are some digits and there is image number. If you see that, I think something is fishy. Otherwise, every image is being stored as being scanned automatically by the system. And that is why during the factory acceptances, we encourage disabling where you can put USB to be taking pictures, to be taking images that are being unauthorized. And there are laws guiding that. There are standard operating procedure guiding that. Because image is the most sensitive aspect of the scanning operation. If you manipulate image, it can be detected.
Okay, then the next question is asking how many NIIT operational roles do we have? 5, 7, 6, or 4?
We have 6.
Okay.
6. I answered that, and I think about 3 days, someone in the platform asked this question, and I answered it in the group. It's 6.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hello.
Then Aliji Brain is asking how many containers can the scanning machine scan in a day?
How many what?
How many containers can the scanning machine scan in a day?
Okay.
The maximum number.
The scanner, actually, the maximum, if you take the scanner, that's what we call scanner downtime. Otherwise, the scanner can scan as much as expected, but averagely, like 600 or 700 containers in a day.
Okay.
But this is obtainable in an ideal situation where the traffic marshal, all hands are on deck, where the flows, the inflows, and the flows are being checkmated, are being controlled, where there are lesser discrepancies, and where the image analysis is not being deferred. Because you can defer image analysis. You can scan container and defer the analysis. You can scan container and simultaneously decide and exit the container. So the situation are also a little bit, combustion, depending on the view and the angle you are looking at it. If you are to facilitate trade, the result will be different. If you are to be scanning and analyzing, the result will be different. If you are just to be scanning the containers, storing the image, and deterring the making the analysis later, you can defer an image. You scan it already and you analyze it later. You can analyze it simultaneously, making sure that whether it's conform or does not conform, whether you subject it to physical examination and what have you. If you suspect, where will you demarcate? And as image analyst, where is the position? How many check-in operators are there? What are the facilities where, if you suspect discrepancies, how many containers will be suspected? How many containers are being physically subjected to examination? Yeah.
Sorry, if I may ask, how many NIIT roles do we have?
You say?
I said, if I may ask, please, how many NIIT roles? Yeah, can you list them?
It is on the slide. It is scanner manager, image operator, system operator, check-in operator, maintenance, and traffic marshal.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate
it.
Hello?
Yeah, welcome.
Hello?
Yeah.
Please, good evening, all.
Good evening.
Yes, I really want to commend the effort of the organizers as well as the presenter, Nafiu. My question goes as this.
Yes.
You know, the whole aim of this introduction of this non-instructive inspection.
Yes.
When it's come to applying it to custom is to facilitate trade.
Absolutely.
So I know there are some cases of which I want to ask. I know that quite all right, we know this race, they are radioactive rays.
Yes.
So I don't know how, because it's a new technology, I can say, you see that there are some consignments or goods that are coming for importation that are dangerous to be exposed to all these radioactive rays.
Yes.
In case of some raw materials.
Absolutely.
That's number one question I have. I don't know in which way that you deal with such a kind of consignment. Secondly, from the lectures or from what is currently applicable, that custom is currently releasing containers after scanning. And you know, in our ports, we work with other relevant agencies that are meant to examine containers and give their reports. So in this case, after containers have been scanned and released by the custom, how do we now integrate these other agencies in order for them to do their jobs? Since I believe most of them, they are not trained on these scanning activities.
Yes, that is a very valid question. If I'm good enough, I can say this question was asked by I forgot your name, but I know you, my friend from Kano. So the first question, the consignment composition are different. There are consignment that are homogeneous, heterogeneous, perishable, hazardous, chemical, biological, explosive. All these are containers. It can come in form of consignment. So technically, it's not good to subject perishable items like, for example, watermelon and other edible foods items. So sincerely speaking, I don't know at the field whether these concerns are being carried out, but I know a good scanner manager who is well trained will be able to know that there are some consignment, like for example the perishable, because the scanning them will change the genealogy, will change, like for example, let me give you an example. That is why even the pregnant woman are being advised to stay away as an officer that is pregnant, to stay away from the scanning perimeter because of it can affect the futures. So consignment wise, perishable items usually, even if they are going to be scanned, the beaming will be technical, but advisably is not even good unless if there is because of the security concern and dishonest of our citizens, where if you allow consignment that are perishable to be going without being subjecting them into scanning, a lot of concealment will be there. So like for example, food items like cook items, it's not good to subject them into scanner. Like the thermoluminescent dosimeters are not good to be subjected into the scanner. That is why there are so many times, like 5 years ago, sometimes if I am going to Lagos with the TLD badges, like for example, for distribution to our officers, I always argue seriously with the fan officials because they will say it has to pass through scanning, and I have to take my time to educate them that this thing has lithium fluoride inside. Subjecting it to your scanner will jeopardize with the reading of the badges, which is tantamount to making the officers reading not standard. Because as you subject it to heat, it will trap a lot and it will have some background, it will add up with the background radiation and the absorb dose. We call it absorb dose. So, Salim, in summary, first question is that consignment that are perishable are not supposed to be subjected, but because of the precarious situation and the unwholesome activities and habits of a common importer, we subject them also to examination. Then the second question, releasing of containers after scanning. The concern of the OGAs, which are other government agencies. Other government agencies, that is why agencies like the NDLA, Nexria, Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, and other agencies that are our stakeholders are being integrated in our NIIT-CSC platform. But some agencies like Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority, NNRA, are not being integrated, even though effort is on the way to making sure that they are being integrated to our platform. So a situation like that, I think it's a welcome idea to begin to train stakeholders to be able to have the technical know-how on this. But otherwise, declaration is the most important, and the image analysis. Once scanner cannot, there's no ambiguity. Once you scan, it's just like torchlight. If there's darkness, once you light it, you will be able to visibly, see whatever, you can uncover what is in the darkness. So it is scanner. Once you use it judiciously and excisively, I assure you, you will see whatever it is inside. No hidden. So it depends. It's left for customs to build that integrity so that if they pass an image, even the other agencies will agree that yes, this image is free from discrepancies and vulnerability.
Okay.
Kamal, sorry, Kamal. Not telling Kamal. I remember your name.
Thank you, Nafiu.
Okay, then Akafa, go ahead with your question.
Again, permission to add on what Dr. Salihu just said.
Okay, go ahead.
On our NIIT system, the integration is such that these same agencies that he mentioned were asked to submit those consignments that should be on scanning. So we have what we call NAFDAC scan. We have what is called SUN scan, meaning that the agencies themselves have granted customs the permission to go ahead and scan those consignments. Those consignments, they don't need to be part of it. We should scan it and act accordingly, based on the fact that all documentation requirements have been followed.
Absolutely.
So in our RICS engine, these things are categorized. And the essence is that you don't need to get, like you said, like the person asking the question said, the essence is to facilitate trade. We have to come to terms to these agencies to agree with them. What items do you think that you might not necessarily need to physically intervene, that you can just trust customs to subject those items to scanning, to let it go without necessarily your intervention into the process? And they've agreed, and they've given us list of items, list of HS code, which are embedded on the system, and in which the system now used to do a selectivity and route the such consignment to the scanning. And they have not actually been complaining over the years.
Absolutely.
Because they are being carried along and they are part of it.
Absolutely. Kamal, I hope you are convinced with the responses.
I think he's on mute. So let's take 1-2 questions, then we call it a night, please. The other ones, I think, will be answered on the platform.
Any other question, respected colleagues?
Can I ask a question, sir?
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presenter Mayoga. And please, the question is, can a scanner be able to detect, like say, if you unbundle or if you dismantle AK-47 and scatter it in a container, can the scanner be able to detect all these parts one by one and like assemble them in his brain and understand that this is a rifle or something like that?
Absolutely. The question is very valid. That is why it's highly encouraged to have an expert in image analysis, because in image analysis, you have to have what we call Ishara test. You have to pass Ishara test. But all these things in Nigeria, we don't really do it. But I think, a good image analyst has to have the capability to master as much as possible imagery. Has to have ability to have thousands or millions of images in his memory. As a good image analyst, you have to know the pictorial shape of items. You have to know if this is tire, if this is razor, if this is scissors. You can have a common sense having the library of images. The World Customs Organizations, that is why to enhance this capability is envisaging or championing a program called UFF, otherwise known as Unified File Format. This unified file format is the interoperability of data. Situation whereby images from different scanner, different companies, different manufacturers will be able to see themselves, will be able to have a library where they were able to integrate despite the difference in the make and the companies make. So, as image analysts, I assure you there are some features that are embedded in the scanner that can help you to enhance the capability for detection and analyzing of items and materials that are being subjected to scanner. For example, in image analysis, there is what we call contrasts. There is an icon that we call zoom. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can enlarge. There are more than 10 icons that can be deployed in making sure that you utilize it, you play around with it to ascertain the composition of consignment. Like in the case of AK-47, you can see an average Nigerian, because of the popularity of the gun, otherwise called AK-47. You see that the shape, you can pictorially picture the shape, bullet, the trigger, the aperture, including the hand, if the gun has a hand. So you'll be able to picture the picture and assemble it. Whenever you see a trigger, whenever you see a bullet, you begin to suspect that there are tendencies of weapon. When you see the shape, the bullet, the aperture, the gun. So your ability to assemble that pictorially in your memory will help you and make you a good image analyst. So I assure you, our officers of customs, the image analysts, have that capability because they have undergone a reasonable training, even though more advanced training is needed and more capacity in that lane. Thank you. So in summary, to answer your question, it's very easy to discover that because it's your ability to know that this component is consonant with this component. This is a CKD of this. This is a CKD of this. Like, for example, if you are a mechanic, you have the pictorial picture of the tires, the lathe, the brake pad, the clutch, the steering. You'll be able to assemble all this to be able to have an idea that will make you to suspect that and in conformity with the declaration. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, and Doctor, thank you very much. I think we have a very long night. So, Doctor, please, if there are so many questions on the platform, so you can just help us respond to some of them.
Okay.
Dear colleagues, please, we should call it a night. And thank you very much, Dr. Nafiu Salihu, for this wonderful presentation. We are indeed grateful for giving us the gift of your time, being with us this time, and the knowledge you shared is valuable. I think we have succeeded in at least enlightening some of our members. Well, the art student among us, some of them are a little bit confused. So, so we are calling it a night. Tomorrow, we will be having.
This is a highly peripheral. It's a pleasure having me, and it's a pleasure, partaking in this noble and prestigious platform. I wish us well, and thank you very much for listening.
Okay, we will share the recorded video in like 30 minutes. Thank you, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.